So at the moment, DC fans are absolutely eating. I mean, look at me, bro. Oh, you can tell I'm eating a little bit too much because I definitely need to lose a little bit of weight. But DC, they're cooking too much good food right now. We got a freaking chicken parm over here. We got an elite pizza they're currently cooking, and most of it is, of course, all being done right now by James Gunn and Peter Safran. Again, not only did Superman just come out and was absolutely hectic, I mean, I recently just made a review about that on the channel for those of you who haven't seen. We've been getting a ton of leaks and a ton of new information to do with not only the DCU and, of course, Batman, but an Elseworlds project that I'm very much looking forward to, which is obviously Matt Reeves' The Batman Part 2. Again, for those of you who didn't know, the Batman 2 script recently just got done by Matt Reeves. He shared a photo on his Instagram account confirming it had been done. And as we know, James Gunn now has just confirmed he has officially read the script, with him saying that it's great. I mean, what could we expect anything less from Matt Reeves? This is the guy that made The Batman, my all-time favorite Batman movie and one of my all-time favorite movies in general, and of course made, you know, Dawn and War for the Planet of the Apes, which are two of my all-time favorite movies as well. Again, Matt Reeves consistently cooks, and anyone who was looking down on him, man, they should be ashamed of themselves, bro, because this shit is gonna be cracked. And yeah, as we know, James Gunn is just reconfirming that it of course is. Again, some other things to do with the Matt Reeves Batman universe. He actually, there was a report that came out that actually said that the Clayface movie was originally supposed to be in Matt Reeves' Batman universe, but that has been changed to the DCU. Again, I'm going to be making a separate video on all the leaks we have heard about that, because there is just so much. It is absolutely crazy how much Clayface leaks have been coming out as of late. But again, going a little bit away from the Elseworlds, you know, Batman 2 movie, back to the DCU, it has been confirmed by James Gunn that he expects to read 2 scripts for Batman in the upcoming months. Again, as we know, he did just read the Batman 2, so that's one of them. But the other script he's reportedly said to read is going to be the Brave and the Bold movie, which some people are expecting that script to potentially be done by, you know, September or so, and then James Gunn will be, you know, reading it very shortly after. And I think probably around, you know, after Christmas this year, I think maybe early January next year, I think very early pre-production will be beginning on the Brave and the Bold filming. And for those of you who don't know what the Brave and the Bold film is, those of you who are watching this video that have never heard of it, again, essentially, this is going to be the Batman movie, the first Batman movie in James Gunn's DC universe. So this is going to have nothing to do with Robert Pattinson's Batman. It's going to be a completely different Batman. And basically, this Batman is going to coexist with, you know, characters like Superman, characters like Supergirl, and will just not be related to Robert Pattinson's Batman, who is existing in his own world, which is being done by Matt Reeves. Again, this Batman is being said to be a little bit of an older Batman. He's going to have a son in this film by the name of Damian Wayne, who he of course turns into Robin. Now, as we know, the Batman 2 is scheduled for an end of 2027 release date. And if we look at how James Gunn made Superman, Superman was a 2-year project, and that's what it's said to be like for most DC films. Again, James Gunn really wants to reiterate that he wants to give time to his editing team, you know, to his designers and all of the above to work on his films. Again, it took him a couple of months to write Superman. It took him a couple months to cast Superman, all of the above. But after he got done with filming Superman, which took him 5 months, it actually has been well over a year since that happened for the editors to, of course, work their magic and make sure the CGI is absolutely perfection. Again, I think Supergirl was wrapped filming like 4 or 5 months ago or something crazy like that. And it's going to be releasing, you know, mid next year, giving the editing team really over a year to, of course, edit that film. Again, that's what I think they're going to be doing with the Brave and the Bold film. I think early pre-production, you know, casting and whatnot will start in early 2026. I wouldn't be surprised if mid towards the end of 2026 they started filming it. I think they'll start filming it maybe end of 2026. And I wouldn't be surprised if they, of course, give the editors, you know, well over a year to make this thing happen. Again, them being able to do this should separate it from, of course, the Batman 2. So in my opinion, if they start filming Brave and the Bold end of 2026 and they, of course, you know, filming that for 5 to 6 months, very similar time that it took for Superman, realistically, that means that it should be done filming by mid-2027, giving them what I'm going to assume is a year to, of course, edit the film. Giving them a year to edit the film also is exactly what they're doing with the other films, but also means that this film will release a year after the Batman 2, meaning that we're not going to be getting 2 Batman movies within like 6 months with each other or something crazy like that. No, I think what will happen is we're going to get the Batman 2 end of, you know, 2027, and I wouldn't be surprised if we get the Brave and the Bold movie end of 2028. Again, that's how I think they're going to do it. And if some of you guys are sitting there thinking, well, end of 2028 sounds like a while away, it's really not, because I said the same thing at the end of 2023 when all the Superman stuff was happening. And I mean, look at us now. The Superman movie really snuck up on me, and here it is, and I finally got to watch it, and it was so awesome. The reality is that even though this film will be coming out, you know, end of 2028, they will be done filming it by, as I said, probably midway through end of 2027. It's exactly what they did with Superman movie. They gave their editors a year and a bit more to, of course, you know, finish it. They gave the cast a couple months before the film came out to, of course, go and advertise it and market it and do a bunch of interviews and whatnot for it. And I think this is what they're going to do with the Brave and the Bold. So even though the movie, end of 2028, sounds like a long way away, we're probably going to be getting, I think, casting announcement for the Batman and whatnot, probably, again, early 2026. I think pre-production is going to start on this film probably early 2026. And it's also like, we could still be seeing this Brave and the Bold Batman in the Clayface movie. You know, maybe a little cameo, whatever it might be. But whoever they cast for this film will potentially, I think, be in this Clayface movie in maybe some little small role or a cameo or whatever it might be. Maybe like a boogeyman figure. And I think that is absolutely awesome. And I'm so excited for that. Again, we really don't know much about the Brave and the Bold just yet. Besides, James Gunn did say, though, that the Batman in Brave and the Bold will not be wearing trunks, which I'm not disappointed about. I mean, the reason Superman wears trunks is because it's such a staple to his character, and he wants kids to think he looks silly, and that's why they did it for the new movie. But Batman, it really doesn't make any sense. Again, I do hope, though, they give him a really cool utility belt that I would love for to be yellow. I think we really need a suit very similar to this, you know, a couple of posts that I've been seeing and design concepts that have the blue cowl, the blue parts on his arms, a yellow utility belt, a silver suit, maybe something like that. I would really love for them to go and move away from the black on black suits that we've been seeing in literally every single Batman movie. I would love for them to do a little bit different. I mean, the yellow logo, I know technically that was Michael Keaton's logo or whatever. I just think they should bring it back, man, and do something very similar. Have a yellow logo, maybe a different bat symbol on his chest. That would be so awesome. I know it would be a little bit campy, maybe a little bit cringe to some, but in my opinion, this is the direction that they should go down, and I would absolutely love to see it, and I really do hope we get it. But one of the things that I actually walked out of the cinema really thinking is, what is the future of the DC universe going to be like? What is James Gunn been cooking? What has Peter Safran been cooking? What is coming soon? And one of the movies I continuously keep hearing about does happen to be the Clayface movie, written by Mike Flanagan, who is one of the better modern day, of course, horror directors, horror filmmakers, writers, all of the above. Again, he was actually, writing this Clayface film. It was being said that he actually was originally writing it for Matt Reeves' The Batman universe, but he was writing his film and he sent it into James Gunn, and the script must have been that good that James Gunn put this into early production over films that he had announced like a year or two prior, like The Authority, like the actual Batman DCU Brave and the Bold film, all of the above. Again, in today's video, we have a lot of news and updates to, of course, go over with this film that I thought would be really awesome and really interesting to, of course, talk about. Again, as I said earlier, it is being said that Clayface was originally planned for the Batman universe, but was moved to the DCU. I mean, this makes a whole lot of sense considering Robert Pattinson's Batman is supposed to be much more grounded, much more realistic, all of the above. I think that having Clayface, of course, who's this big, massive sludge monster, go into a more fantastical DC universe, which is going to have a more fantastical Batman, is definitely much, much for the best. It is also being said that Matt Reeves is still attached to produce this movie for DC. Most of the things that Matt Reeves has, of course, produced as well have been absolutely epic and, have been very good. Everything that Matt Reeves has legitimately been a part of has been really good. I think we all know this, and I think we all trust in Matt Reeves. Again, it is being said that Clayface in this film is Matt Hagen, merging his story with Basil Karlos. Again, I am not really familiar with some of the origins to do with Clayface. I do know that Clayface, there's like 1,800 different interpretations on who Clayface is, and a bunch of different characters that Clayface, of course, is. I mean, the reality is as well is that Clayface has taken different forms too. There are some forms where he's not this massive pile of sludge monster thing, and that he is like, I don't even know how to describe it, but it's so much more underwhelming in my opinion than the massive sludge monster. Again, as we know, for the DCU, they are going with the massive sludge monster thing, which is exactly what they should be doing. It's exactly what the fans have been wanting. It's exactly what I have been wanting since I played Lego Batman on the DS all those years ago. So I'm very happy with that. It also says that Hagen is a rising Gotham actor, disfigured in an attack, who becomes a shape-shifting monster. Again, the interpretation I feel like I'm more accustomed with, again, is the actor whose looks start to fade a little bit, and he eventually, goes to a doctor, a surgeon, whatever it might be, gets a drug that, of course, gets his looks back up to their best, and then, as we know, he turns into the big sludge monster. I think this is also the interpretation they did with the new Batman Caped Crusader show, which was, of course, developed by Matt Reeves. But again, they're going in a little bit of a different direction here. Who has this Clayface disfigured in an attack? Now, what could this attack be? I'm not too sure. Could they somehow tie this into Batman or something like that, and maybe this gives a motive and a reason for Clayface to hate Batman? I'm not too sure. Again, there is a massive report here on everything we need to know, though. According to the Nexus Point News, Clayface is portrayed as Matt Hagen, combining elements of his comic origins with Basil Karlos' backstory. Hagen is a rising actor in Gotham who was disfigured in an attack, ruining his career and eventually turning into a shape-shifting monster. His love interest, Dr. Caitlin Bates, is an original character and the CEO of a biotech startup focused on cutting-edge medical technology. She wants to help Hagen and grow her company, but she also engaged to a detective who becomes suspicious of her relationship with Matt. The film's antagonist is a crime boss and an entirely original character. So I don't know if they're going to go in this type of direction where maybe, of course, the attack happens, he goes to his his doctor, who of course is his love interest, and maybe she's what turns him into, I don't know, this disfigured shape-shifting monster. Because the reality, in my opinion, is that if he gets into an attack, how does an attack turn him into a shape-shifting monster? Again, if I'm walking down the street, right, and some guy looks at me dead in the eye, tries and steals my pearls, which he probably won't do because I'm not a woman and I'm not, you know, Martha Wayne, and he maybe just freaking stabs me or some shit, right? I'm gonna lay there waiting for the ambulance to come pick me up and save my life. I'm not gonna sit there and be like, holy shit, this guy just stabbed me. I'm gonna start turning into a shape-shifting monster all of a sudden. No, that's not really how that works at all. Again, maybe this guy gets attacked, gets cut multiple times on the face, gets kind of disfigured, and he's like, shit, I gotta go seek some help. Maybe, you know, my love interest, who's an original character at a startup company, she's a doctor. Maybe some of the research she's doing can help me out here. And that's, I'm guessing, how this is going to go. Again, the Clayface we've seen in the Creature Commando is a little bit different. I think he's like a grey version. Really looks good. But I'm kind of hoping for this movie they go with the original golden, orangey looking sludge monster. I think that would be so epic, and they just gotta do it. You just gotta have the OG design. Again, the villain of this movie being a crime boss and an entirely original character, I don't know what that has to do with Clayface. I mean, in Flanagan, I trust, and I'm assuming he's going to cook here, but how does a crime boss, you know, how is he going to intertwine in this story? Again, is Clayface going to be like an anti-hero in this? I mean, I sure hope not. I really hope he's what the Penguin is in the Batman. The Penguin in the Batman is a guy who you feel bad for because he is so bad looking and, you know, has absolutely had to come out of the slums and do it extra tough. And you kind of feel bad for him and you empathize with him. But at the end of the day, he's 100% a villain, and there is absolutely no good side of him or redeeming qualities of him whatsoever. And you guys would know that, especially if you watched the show and the last episode. But I want that with Clayface. I do want there to be a lot where I can feel bad for this guy and I can embrace this guy as a man who is now turning into a massive sludge monster and he's disfigured, all of this type of stuff. But I want him to be a villain. I want him to be evil. I want him to take his shit on the world. I want him to be angry at the world for what has happened to him. And I want him to do bad things. It's just the reality of things. Clayface is a massive villain. He's not an anti-hero like Venom who will do some things for the good of his heart. You know, maybe he's got a little bit about that for him. But Clayface, for the most part, is usually a big villain. So I want to see that, and I need that to absolutely happen. Again, the big question on a lot of people's mind is the Batman going to be in this film? I'm not too sure. But what I would love is, for much of the fault of Suicide Squad, and that being a terrible film, Ben Affleck's Batman in that film and the short role he provides is actually really good. Again, in my opinion, I would love for there to be a tiny bit more though. I want the Batman in this film to be like a boogeyman character. Like a character who gets mentioned a lot throughout the film and a character who a lot of people are, you know, looking over their shoulder to see if he's going to come. You know, I want him to be a character that Clayface maybe is threatened by throughout this story and has second thoughts about what he does just in case the Batman comes up. Again, I think the Batman should be in this film. I don't think this is like the Penguin where it can actually work without the Batman. I don't think it's like that at all. I think you do need the Batman in this film. And I mean, yeah, he's got to be in it in some way, shape or form. And there has to be reason for him to be in this film, which I'm sure there will be. And I hope that's what they make him out to be, like a boogeyman character in this movie. So again, I'm very personally interested to see how this is going to go, how this is going to unfold, all of the above. I think it's going to be really good and hopefully an awesome film that I'm definitely very excited to go and see. Again, don't forget to check out my sports channel, which will be linked down below, my Instagram, which will also be getting linked down below, subscribe to this channel for all latest gaming and movie content, and I guess I'll be seeing you guys next time. Goodbye.